Hi, it's cold here and I haven't been able to play much golf lately here in Virginia. So I thought I would do a little what's in the bag to tide you guys over so that you'd have a little something to look at. First thing I was gonna talk about is actually my bag itself. You can see my bag right here. I actually have a Mackenzie Walker bag. It's the smaller size bag and it has a few little personal touches. My name is Frederick Ray Emerson III, so that's my little Fui 3 there. And then also, I have my own little logo that I made here. You can see the FWE, and the third is in the crown with the 3. And then, actually, if you look, I am a choir director by trade. So if you look at the logo on my bag, those look like golf clubs, but they are actually crossed quarter notes. There's a little bit of music nerd stuff for you there. Also, if you look inside my bag, I'm gonna open up the pocket. And even though I really like golf, I think it's important to remember, if you look in here, it actually says, there are more important things than golf. And so there you have it. It's true, there are more important things than golf. So that's kind of my bag. Real small opening, real small bag. I like to walk. And so there's my bag. So if you look at my towel here, my towel actually has a Dornoch Hills logo. Dornoch Hills is a really cool golf course. It's Perry Maxwell. For those of you who don't know, I'm an architecture nerd. And Dornoch Hills is actually in the area where he grew up. And it was his home course, and he spent a lot of time tinkering there. So Dornoch Hills is kind of like Pinehurst number 2. He spent a lot of years there. He changed a lot of things around, and it was restored maybe 5 or 6 years ago, maybe even a little longer than that, by Tom Doak. If you're ever in the area and you're able to play there, I really recommend it. Very cool golf course. Now, if you wanted to look at my golf clubs themselves, we're gonna go from kind of like most important to least important. I think the most important club in any person's bag is their putter. This is my putter underneath my Cruden Bay Golf Club head cover, where I'm a member. Take the cover off here real quick. So, okay, underneath the cover here, we've got my MacGregor V-Foil Bobby Grace, very old putter. I've actually used it for more than 10 years. I got it off eBay. It's out of the tour bag, and it's an M 6.4K tour. It's big, ugly mallet, center shafted has always been my thing. It's got this really great copper insert, which I really like. Up top, it's got some great sight lines so that you can line it up with the line on the ball, which is one of my favorite things to do. And I actually just switched this up. I actually have a stability shaft that I just put in this. It's called Cobalt. I really like blue, stability blue here. And got the black on the bottom, really good putter. We have an Iomic grip on it. Same kind of blue. I really like blue motif throughout my whole bag. So after your putter, I think the most important clubs in your bag are wedges. I have used Dave Pell's wedges for years. I have used them since college. I really, really like them. They have these interesting inserts in the faces. I've been practicing a lot. I've actually got some ball junk on the face right now. But they have these really interesting inserts that are pressed into the faces where the grooves last way longer. This is a very old set of wedges. This is probably like the 3rd set I have in my life. When they run out, I get more off of eBay because I love them so much. But these wedges, this is my X wedge, it still spins at about 10,000. And that's crazy high. So especially for old grooves. It's called Durasteel, but yet the body is forged. They feel really good. They spin really good. They have very little bounce on them, which I like. This is my X wedge. It's 64. I also have a lob wedge, which is 59. A sand wedge, which is at 54. And I have a pitching wedge, but it's really more like a gap wedge. And it is at 49 degrees. I love these wedges. I've used them forever. They actually, you can't really see it in the shaft, but these wedges are really interesting because they have shafts that change. It starts with like a rifle spinner shaft, and it's like a 4.0 in the X wedge, a 4.5 in the lob wedge, a 5 in the sand wedge, and a 5.5 in the pitching wedge. But I've actually changed my pitching wedge around so that it actually has the same shafts that are in the rest of my clubs. KBS C-Taper Light 115, because my pitching wedge, I mainly use it for full shots out of the fairway. So I like it to have the same shaft as my irons. So interesting thing about my clubs, there are 5-degree gaps between my wedges, but then I move in to my actual irons. And my irons I've had a long time. They're the TE Forged by Maltby. They're like a forged cavity back, and they're really good looking, but they're also really easy to hit. Now what's weird when you look at my bag itself is if you look down in the bag, there are actually only 4 irons in the bag. I'm very frugal, and I'm also kind of a minimalist. I like a little bag, and I like not having a lot of clubs. So my wedges have 5 degrees in between, but my irons actually have 6 degrees between each club. So my 9 iron is 44, which is actually the loft of a modern pitching wedge. My 8 iron is 38. Excuse me. Yeah, my 8 iron is 38. My 6 iron is 32. And my 5 iron is 26. And normal clubs have a 1/2 inch between each club. My irons actually have 3/4 of an inch between each club. So my clubs, I've got basically like a 15-yard gap between my wedges. And then I've got a 20-yard gap between my irons. And what I do when I want to hit a different shot is I literally just choke down, or try to play a cut. I'm trying to take something off. And if I need to add a little bit, I just try to hit a draw. So that's all of my golf shafts and my irons are C-Taper Light 115 X-Flex. Pitching wedge and all my irons use that shaft. I was custom fit for them a long time ago, and I like them, and this is probably my 3rd set of clubs that has these shafts. Also, all of my clubs have Golf Pride, Tour Velvet, Align grips. This one has some crud on it right now. I need to wash it. All right. So what's interesting about these Maltby TE Forge clubs is I just actually, like this particular set, like 6 or 7 years ago, I bought them on a complete whim. And I just brought them really cheap as a set. They came with like old KBS Tour shafts that were like, I think 105s at the time, and it was just a set you could buy for really cheap. And I got them in my 4-pack, and they bent them to the lofts I wanted them to be bent to. And I tried them out, and I could not believe how good they looked and how easy they were to hit. And they work really well, and they are so inexpensive. I'm actually been thinking about upgrading my irons sometime soon. And when I do, I'm probably going to get another set of Maltbys, because you just can't beat them for the money. So if we're talking about being frugal, I mean, there really is not much better than this for the money. They're good looking. They look like a player's club, but they play like something even easier to hit, and they're really great. And if you just get your shafts that you've already been fit for in them, I think most people will be really happy with them. I highly recommend giving them a try out. So probably the most important club after the wedges and the irons would be my driver. The driver might actually be slightly more important than the irons if we're going in order of importance. But this is my driver. Shout out Best Grips. I got a friend named Zach. He actually runs a company called Best Grips. They make really great leather golf grips, but they also make really nice leather head covers. I've actually had this head cover for like 9 or 10 years, and it still looks great. So go see Zach if you're looking for a head cover. All right, my driver is Ping G430 LST. It's a 9 degree, but it's actually been cranked up in loft. It's on the plus loft setting, and that means it's actually playing like 10.5. Use this golf club for quite a while now. I really like it. I have a slightly heavier weight in the back, but it's still in the center. And the reason why the weight is slightly heavier is because I actually play a slightly short driver. I think most drivers today come in at like 45.5 or 46. I think my driver is 44.5. I've got a Tensei CK Pro, which I've had for a long time. I actually used it in my driver before this driver. I don't like it so much, I just kept it. It's a 60 S Flex. I also have a 60 X Flex in a Tensei 1K, but my swing speed has gone down recently, and so I switched back into my stiff shaft. If I can get a little more speed, I'm gonna go back to the X Flex shaft. So after that, I thought we'd talk a little bit about my hybrid. Shout out Cuskawilla. That's what this head cover is. It's a Coore and Crenshaw course in Georgia. I really just like the club logo, and I like Coore and Crenshaw a lot. So that's why we got this head cover on my hybrid. So my hybrid here is a G410 hybrid. If you look at it, pretty used, pretty well worn. I've had this club probably 4 or 5 years now, and it gets a lot of use. This is what I like to use off the tee on tight holes. It's got the tour shaft, the original tour shaft that these came with on here, and this particular one is an 85 stiff flex hybrid shaft. They play pretty stiff, so this is actually, it plays more like an S Plus, and I really like that. And I've got the same Golf Pride mid-size Tour Velvet Align grip that I use on all of my clubs. My hybrid is a 4 hybrid, but it actually plays more like a 3 iron for me. I actually have it down 1 degree, so it's at 21 degrees, and I use it, and it is about a 220 club. My 3 wood is also a Ping G410. It's a 3 hybrid, it's a 3 wood. It's labeled 14.5, but it's actually on the small minus setting, so it's actually playing 13.75 right now. I like to use it as a tee club. It has, believe it or not, I really like it because I'm playing it slightly longer than normal. It actually has a DI5 X Flex graphite design shaft in it. Really good off the tee. It does go a little bit low, doesn't really hold green great into a par 5, but I use it to get as much roll as possible anyway. Yeah, never have really liked 3 woods. This is the first one I've had in a long time that I feel like I actually hit pretty well and I have confidence in. So I also thought I might talk a little bit about what I actually keep inside of my bag. Like I said, I'm kind of a minimalist. So I carry a rangefinder and I'm quite frugal. So I actually had this Precision Pro that I got a long time ago. No slope or anything like that, just measures distance. So I can also use it in tournaments and not cheat. Just kind of used it for probably 6 or 7 years now. Really like it. Keep my wrench in the bag so I can adjust my hybrid and my driver and my 3 wood. I actually play the Max Fly ball. I actually play the Tour X version. It's a red number. I like it is firm feeling, but I like how much it spins and it goes high, which I like. And I just mark it with a black line. I like to use it for putting. I also actually use it on drives and sometimes on par 3s off the tee as well. We're talking about frugality. This ball really is, I feel like the best ball you can possibly buy for the money. I like a Titleist Pro VX, but when you can get these for literally half the price, I don't know why you wouldn't do it, because I don't see much difference in quality. Gotta have your sunglasses when you're playing. Those tend to stay in there. I just kind of get my random tees from wherever I get them. No special tees, none of that stuff. But I play a lot of golf and a lot of golf courses that give me free tees, so I have a tendency to just take them. I have my little thing here that I use to put my black line on the ball. Really simple. All I do is use it, clip it on the ball, black line. Keep a black Sharpie. Sometimes I like to use blue or red too, but mainly I just use black. Chapstick. That's really about it. And then I usually tend to find like half broken tees in my bag, and I like to use broken tees on par threes. It's kind of a superstition thing. So, and then also I got my earbuds here. I typically like to play if I'm playing by myself. I like to just throw the earbuds in and listen to podcasts or listen to music while I'm playing and not bother anybody else. Have a random ball mark in here. This one happens to be Royal Aberdeen. Played a lot of famous golf courses all over the world. Anytime they have these kind of like simple ball marks, I like to get a ball mark from the course. So I usually have a few of these in the bag too from some random courses where I played. Talk about yardages a little bit. My driver usually carries somewhere like in the 250 range, 255, 260 if I really smoke it. And a good drive for me usually rolls out to about 270. Downwind, can hit a little further. 3-wood, like a 240 club. Hybrid, it's like a 220 club. 5-iron with these Maltbys. 5-iron is like a 200 club. 6-iron, 180. 8-iron, 140. And my 9-iron goes, my 8-iron goes 160. My 9-iron goes 140. And then my pitching wedge, which is actually like a gap wedge, goes 120. Sand wedge goes 105. Lob wedge goes 90. X wedge goes about 75, 80 if I really step on it. And so I just kind of have those kind of wide distance gaps between my clubs, but that's okay. Because like I said, I tend to be a minimalist. And so what's nice here is that I can really just play a low number of clubs. So the bag only actually has about 12 clubs, good for carrying. So if you were going to describe my bag, I really think the words that would describe like my philosophy when it comes to my clubs and what I do really are the words minimalist, 12 clubs, really simple, light carry bag, but also frugality. I mean, I don't skimp. Like, I have a really nice up-to-date Ping driver because you really can see the difference in having and it's been custom fit to me with a shaft that I love, because you really can see the difference in that. I think woods, there's a lot of technology to be had. But to be honest, with the clubs like my Maltby irons, it really is, I can find more expensive clubs that are as good, but you can't find anything as good as them at the price point that they're at. So that's why I've got it. As far as my putter, I'm willing to use technology. I'm willing to do all those things. I mean, I got the stability shaft in it. That's expensive, but it's the most used club in your bag. And I've had that head for 10 years. And so I just reshafted it with something better because it gets performance gains and can help with what I've got. Also, my bag is quite expensive. It was custom made for me. The material in it is used for making military flak jackets. It's leather trimmed, it's completely custom made, and it's really expensive. But I didn't have a problem buying something more expensive for my golf bag, because if this bag ever rips or tears or breaks, they fix it for free. And it really could be one of those things where you buy something that's really high quality and it lasts the rest of your life. So it really is a good value. So anyway, these are my clubs, and I hope you enjoyed this vlog, my what's in the bag. And I like to use it to play my best golf, and I hope you're getting the best golf clubs for yourself for your game as well.